Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Hello, good afternoon everyone. Yes, welcome to my YouTube channel. This time I'm going to show Vlan on router Mikrotik. I'm using GNS3 software so that I can have the manage switch to link to my router to configure Vlan. Okay, I add Mikrotik router and I have manage switch, and I will use two PCs, and I'm also using cloud to connect to my computer. I'm using GNS3 VM. I will use loopback adapter. On cloud. My cloud have three interfaces, either 0, either 1, and either 2. Either 2 is my loopback adapter. Let me show you my loopback adapter IP address. I have 192.168.22.90. Okay, so I will use this rank address on Mikrotik so that I can have link from my network. Okay, let me disable Wi-Fi so that I don't have this one. Okay, let's start connecting. Before I connect, I go to Configur, then I add more networks interfaces, more ports. Default on Mikrotik in GNS3 there are 2 ports only, so I will add up to 10 ports. Okay, and I will use port number 1, either 1, link to either 2, which is connected to loopback adapter. Okay, and I will use either 2 as a trunk connection to switch. My switch I will use fast Ethernet 0/15 as a trunk. So link between switch and router as a trunk. Okay, as a trunk. So we will configure trunk connection between this connection, and I will use PC1 link to switch on, let's say, port 11, 0/11, and 0/12 to port number 2 to PC2. Okay, this is 0/12, 0/11. I will have 2 VLANs. Okay, I will create 2 VLANs. This is belong to VLAN 11, and this one is belong to VLAN 12. Okay, so now let's start all devices, and we start configure IP address on router Mikrotik. By default in GNS3 router Mikrotik, there are no IP address on each interfaces. Okay, so I will add manual IP address on console. I will go to console. Username is admin, password no. Okay, to assign IP address on either one, which is connected to router Mikrotik. So let me ping to 192.168.22.22. Okay, I will use this 22.22 as my IP address on port 1 on Mikrotik. Okay, to assign IP address, we go by command, we go /IP address, and then we say add address equal to 192.168.22.22/24. Okay, interface is a 1. Okay, what is this? No space. Okay, so I have assigned IP address on Mikrotik. Just wait for this ping. After this ping able to ping, then we go to Winbox. Okay, is it 22 or 20? Let me check. It's 22. Why is it taking so long? Ping again. Why is it taking so long? Let me check my VMware. It should work. Because I switched to the wrong interface. VMnet 2 is connected to Wi-Fi, so VMnet 4 is connected to loopback adapter. That's why. This is either 0, either 1, either 2 on cloud. Okay, it should be VMnet 4. If you don't know how to add this VMnet 4, please refer to my another video talking about this VMware bridging with real interface. Okay, close. Okay, and then we minimize this. Yes, now it's okay. We can go to Winbox. Go to Winbox. Refresh. Yes. Click on IP. There's no password for the default. We go to connect. From this, it look like a real router Mikrotik. Okay, it look like a real one. So everything I have configured here, you can follow this one on your real router. Okay, on your real router. So first of all, I will create a Vlan. Before I create a Vlan, let me explain. We are having 10 interfaces, either 1, 2, either 10. And we are using either 2 as a trunk. But if you want to use more ports for your trunk, you need to create a bridge and then add those ports to your bridge. Then add VLAN to your bridge. Okay, but at this time I'm not using any bridge. I'm using only directly interface, either 2 as a trunk to the switch, as you see on diagram here. Okay, let me create VLAN. We go to how to create VLAN on router Mikrotik. We go to interface, we go to VLAN, and then we click here. On my plan, I will use VLAN 11 and VLAN 12, so I will have two VLANs. So this is a name. A name can be anything. I just name it as a VLAN number. VLAN name can be anything as you like. Okay, this is but this one is not as you like, but it's depend on the number of you assign, number of ID, VLAN ID. So 11. On my diagram, I will use either 2 as a trunk. So this VLAN need not to point to either 1. You need to point to either 2. Okay. VLAN 11, 2 interface either 2. Apply. We have one VLAN created. One more. We just click copy. VLAN 12. VLAN 12. 2 port either 2. Okay, either 2. Okay. Now we are having two VLANs. Okay, VLAN 11, VLAN 12. VLAN 11, VLAN 12. Next step, we create IP address for each VLAN. How to create IP address for each VLAN? We go to IP address. Remember, this address we have created on console. Here we just created /22 /24 here for either one. But now we are creating IP address for each VLAN. Okay. I will use 192.168.11.1/24 for VLAN 11. And then the interface here, we no need to point to any interfaces, any physical interfaces. No, we select VLAN name that we name VLAN 11. Okay, so I will use a IP address rank of 11 for VLAN 11 as example to recognize as a VLAN 11. And then apply, copy VLAN 12. Okay, 12.1 to VLAN 12. Okay, now we have assigned IP address for both VLANs. Okay, next step, we need to create the DHCP server so that all clients which connected to VLANs can have IP address. Okay, in our diagram, PC1 and PC2 are computer client. Okay, we will request IP address from VLAN 12 from VLAN 1. Okay, sorry, VLAN 11. So go back to Mikrotik router. To create DHCP server, we go to IP DHCP server, click on DHCP setup. This is the wizard. This is the very easy steps to create DHCP servers. So for DHCP server interface, we choose VLAN 11. Then next, your gateway is your IP address of your router. Next, and this is how you assign IP address to clients. Okay, by default it will be taking from point 2 to point 254. But if you want to change, yes, go ahead and change, no problem. Start from 100 to 254. Okay, next, DNS server, just Google DNS server, then next. Okay, successful. One more for VLAN 12. Okay, for VLAN 12, start from 100, start from any number you like. Okay, done. We have done configuration IP address for VLANs. We have done configuration for the DHCP server, and next step we go to DNS, IP DNS. This DNS can be referred to your ISP DNS. If your ISP gave you DNS address, you can assign here. Okay, as my example, I will use DNS of Google. Okay, click OK. Next, go to IP route. IP route to route to your internet. To your ISP, route to internet. Okay, 0 destination or 0/0 destination IP address will be some ISP gateway. Okay, this as example 192.168.22.1, just example. Okay, just example. If your real network, it will be say the message reachable through either one, because of this is just a virtual router, so it won't show any messages. Okay, so you have finished route, then go to IP firewall, go to NAT, add out interface is a one, is your WAN interface. So out interface is a one. Action, go to action, choose MAC. Okay, done. Okay, that's it for router Mikrotik. So now go to switch. Actually, this is a CISCO switch, so I will show some CISCO command. If you have TP-Link, you just go beyond TP-Link configuration. Okay, so I will configure CISCO. Okay, let me change the font. Choose bigger size. Okay, so port number 15 is the trunk port. Port number 12 and port number 11 is the access ports. Okay, so to configure switch on GNS3, there are some different from the CISCO packet tracer, because some configuration on GNS3 switch will be different only VLAN, but for the rest are the same. To create VLAN, we go to VLAN database, and then we say VLAN 11 space name, can be any name. Okay, VLAN 11. Okay, then one more, VLAN 12 name VLAN -12. It's it, because we have only two VLANs ID, so we just create two VLAN ID. If you have more, just create more. Okay, we go to config T, then go to interface F0/15 switch port mode trunk. Okay, that's it. No need to mention any VLAN ID, because if you just configure as a switch port mode trunk, it means that this port or interface will be open for all VLAN IDs. Okay, if you did not mention any VLAN ID. And then go to interface F0/11 switch port mode access. Because this VLAN 11 will be go to port 11. Okay, switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 11. Okay, then we go to F0/12 switch port mode access, and then switch port access VLAN 12 for port 0/12. So now we are done our configuration on router and switch. So let's test from PCs. Okay, let's test from PCs. I will request IP address from the router. PC1 will belong to VLAN 11. PC2 will belong to VLAN 12. Okay. In GNS3 virtual PC, to request DHCP, we say IP DHCP. It will be request for IP address. Yes, you see PC2 getting address range number 12. Okay, 192.168.12.254/24. Gateway is 12.1. What about PC1 IP space the DHCP? Yeah, PC1 getting rank 11. Okay, rank 11. Okay, that's all for this configuration VLAN on Mikrotik router. If you have a real network, you just do like this diagram. Let's say this is your ISP. This is your ISP, and your ISP will provide you PPPoE account or IP address for your internet connection. So you can assign on either 1, and then for either 2 you can assign like I have shown you just now. All are the same. You can follow my configuration to your real router. And this switch can be TP-Link switch, can be CISCO switch, can be HP switch, yeah, any managed switch. Okay, any managed switch, because a normal switch cannot assign trunk, cannot assign access. Okay, yes, thanks for watching, and if you have questions, just comment below. Thank you.